Welcome to your 6-month tarot reading. We are going to dive into the energies of the next 6 months, particularly because it is a very significant time frame for each of us. Okay. So before we dive into it, I do want to, first of all, thank each one of you who have subscribed. I've reached over 100 subscribers. My channel's new, so every one of you that are appreciating this content, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So those of you who have not yet subscribed, please do and hit the notification bell. Also, remember to like the video and make comments. Leave comments. I'd love to hear from you and get to know those of you who are interested in what I'm bringing forward. So thank you again. Next, I would like to just let each one of you know that this intro will be in every one of your readings, okay? Because I do not want to potentially miss something, as this information is so important. By repeating it 12 times, that can get kind of redundant, first of all. And secondly, as it goes on, I may end up forgetting a piece or two. So we don't want that to happen. So typically I give each one of you your own special time in the beginning. But at this point, let's go ahead and just be all on one page, because even though it's going to impact us differently, and that's why you'll each have a reading, right? But the energies are affecting all of us. Okay. So the reason this is so significant is because Chiron has just gone into retrograde. Now, every one of us has a Chiron placement in our chart, in our natal chart. Oh, I should also say, I am not an astrologer. Okay. I am not. I am a tarot reader, but I am very sensitive to current energies. Okay. And when I feel the planet shifting, when I feel something significant, like I did this last December when Chiron went direct, I felt very impacted on looking at the Chiron wound. And many of you may be feeling very impacted by this Chiron retrograde. Okay. Um, and you may have been really dealing with your Chiron wound as of last December. It may have flared up for you also. So what is the Chiron wound? What am I talking about? So if you're not familiar, the Chiron wound is a wound that you would have had since birth, okay? And it will have impacted you throughout your entire life. Now, let's dive into Chiron's Chiron's story, because we'll need to make some parallels here so that it really gives you the depth of what's going on. So, Chiron was conceived in a rape condition. Okay, so his mother was, okay? So what happened is, let's do this. Let's really chat. All right. So what happened was Saturn came to Earth to see his son Zeus, or Jupiter, and he fell in love, or was taken back, very much interested in a water nymph. And he pursued her, and she just continued to not be interested in him and escaping him. So she comes to Zeus, or Jupiter, and asks him to turn her into a horse, a mare, so that she can get away from Saturn. And so he does. Well, Saturn finds out, and he turns himself into a stallion, and he meets up with her, and they produce a child. So when it's time for her to give birth, she goes up into the mountains and she births this child. And because they were, had been horses at the time, she gave birth to a half human, half boy, and half horse, half stallion. Okay. So she was mortified at this. She was embarrassed. She did not want to raise this child. So she abandoned him in a field. And she went back to Zeus and asked him to turn her into a tree. And he did. So that's mom. Mom's out of the picture. But you can see where he was conceived in a trauma, and then at birth, he had a trauma. This is where it begins to parallel our lives, okay? Because you will have this in your chart, this wound that's been placed there. And you chose this at a soul level of what you wanted to really be an impact. Now, where this is really great is Chiron is also known as the wounded healer. So a shepherd found him in the field and takes him to the temple of Apollo. And Apollo and his sister Athena, Artemis. I am so sorry, you guys. I want to say Athena, but it could have been Artemis. Okay. So whoever is Apollo's sister. Okay. So they raised him and gave him an elite education. He learned prophetic abilities. He learned the healing arts and medicine. He learned art itself and the beauty of art. And he learned the ways of a noble warrior, where fighting is the last option when it comes to war. Okay. And he taught a lot of gods and heroes, which are demigods. He taught a lot of them throughout history and or Greek mythology. Okay. So he taught a lot of them. Later, he ended up sustaining his own physical wound. Okay, he was in battle with Hercules. They were on the same team. Hercules had an arrow that was had been dipped in poison made by a god, and had shot his target, and it went through the target and hit Chiron in either the thigh or the knee, depending on which story you're looking at. So he was wounded, and because he is a demigod, he could not die. And because it was a poison that was created by a god, he could not heal it. So he asked for his immortality to be taken from him so that he could die from this wound. And so he did. Now there's another part of the story where it branches off, and he sends Hercules to free Prometheus, which, I mean, it kind of pertains because Prometheus is Aquarius energy, but we're not going to go into that. We could, but not today. Not today. Okay, so we all know that Pluto is in Aquarius right now, and Pluto is helping us to mine. Oh, it does. Sorry, that's why it's coming up. Okay, see, this is why I didn't want to repeat it 12 times. Okay, so Prometheus is the energy of of Aquarius. Okay, Prometheus had stole the fire back for man, because he, according to Greek mythology, he created man, so he was aligned not with the god Zeus, who took the fire as punishment from man. He went actually to Apollo and got the fire back from the sun and gave it back to man. Okay, so and then Zeus had him apprehended and chained him to a pillar, and had an eagle come and eat out his liver every day, repeatedly, for forever, for eternity, or until a hero demigod came and rescued him or saved him. And so when Chiron, and I'm not sure exactly how how it takes his immortality away, but it does. When he sends Hercules to free Prometheus, because we know Hercules is a demigod, he's a hero. When he frees him, Chiron is able to then be mortal now. Okay, and so he goes and he lives with the other centaurs, which were brutes. They come from a very different lineage, a dark lineage, and they were just kind of beasts. They were unruly. They obeyed no law, right? And they had their way. They would terrorize villages and had their way with women, drank too much, just kind of did their own thing at their own will. Well, Chiron went and lived with them for 700 years, and he was able to teach them all of the things that he had learned with his education with gods, and helped to civilize these centaurs. And now we all, in just broad strokes of mythology, if you're not going too deep into it, you can see where centaurs are actually noble creatures in many depictions. Okay, so this is how they got there, was Chiron. Okay, so how does this affect you? Well, your Chiron wound connects directly with your purpose. And we know Chiron's in Aries. We know that our North Node currently is in Aries. Okay. And as of last year's, is it last year's or this or both? I'm not sure. Anyway, as of the eclipse of it was the eclipse that had to do with Aries and Libra. Okay, which is where the north and south nodes are. It opens up this portal for us to be able to heal it. Okay, especially when Chiron, that was this last spring. Okay, Chiron went direct last December. Now he's retrograde again. Okay, and in his retrograde, he's retrograding with Pluto. That's why it was important for me to mention Aquarius energy, because Pluto is in Aquarius now, just like Prometheus or Aquarius, has stolen the fire because he was back for man, because he was aligned to his creation. He was aligned to his own purpose, and not just obeying some godhead. That's what Aquarius is asking each one of us to do, is to be able to step into our authentic self and align ourselves with our own purpose, our own creations, the creation of your own life. Now, what does Pluto have to do with it? So Pluto is Hades. Okay. Pluto is, and the reason why they have two names is, if you don't know, is that Greek mythology, they have one name, and Roman mythology was derived from Greek mythology, is what all the planets are named after, is the Roman god names. Okay. So they're the same people. So, all right. So now, but their stories are just, they're extended stories with the Roman mythology. Okay. So let's go back to Aquarius here. And this Aquarius energy now we know that Pluto went into Aquarius, right? As of earlier this year, finally went, to stay there for a period of time. I think it's doing, when a retrograde, it does touch back into Capricorn for just a moment. But when it does go retrograde, as Pluto retrogrades, it is going to create a conjunction with Chiron. And Pluto, like I said, is Hades, which is your own personal underworld. Now, that can sound a little bit scary, going into your own personal hell, right? And we can all agree that the wound that we've carried with our own life has been our own personal hell. Well, the beauty of Pluto is that Pluto mines the wealth that is under the surface. Okay. So if Pluto is helping, so they're going to go conjunct in like the same degree, like 21 degrees, 20 degrees, and 19 degrees, when they are doing this dance together, Pluto and Chiron. So as Chiron's in retrograde and as Pluto's in retrograde, and they're going to be, like I said, doing this, Pluto's going to help you get underneath everything and help you to recognize where all of the skills, all of the talents, all of the things that you personally have been able to cultivate from a wounded state, just like Chiron did when he received his education. So, and retrograde Chiron's going to help you take a look, revisit that wound, but it's going to be in a very beautiful, harmonious way to help you release it once and for all, to align you with your purpose. Okay. This is your Chiron, the wounded healer. As you heal that wound, it becomes your biggest medicine. Your biggest wound throughout your life becomes your biggest medicine, and becomes prevalent within achieving your own personal purpose, your own personal destiny, which is promise that you made to yourself when you chose to come into this lifetime. So you can see how all these things are working together, and the stories really parallel what's going on with their life. Now, as I've done a little bit of research, I have discovered that the Chiron wound can often be connected to the mother wound. So looking at where your moon is in your chart, the mother wound, by looking at the moon in your chart. Now, why the moon? Because the moon does represent mother figure, the maternal aspects within each of us, the mother figures that we have had in our life, you as a mother figure to other people, whatever that looks like for you. But this Chiron wound, may have something to do with wounds that your own mother had. You may have gotten this in utero, which can be often called like karmic or ancestral wounds, right? But you'll notice as you take a look at the things that have been really activated over this last 7 months, especially, um, may have something to do with what your mother dealt with and you have been perpetuating in your own life. Okay. Now, what's really interesting, when I said it's a beautiful, harmonious, take a look at it, not to scare you, not to fear this healing, but in a way that's actually going to move, because Venus is helping us out, and Venus knows what your desire is. And your desire is to feel fulfilled and purposeful in your life in your own unique way. Again, touching back to that Aquarius energy, right? You being unique, being yourself. It's sort of like rebellion energy of like, I don't need a godhead or some system telling me what I need to do. I need to be listening to my own inner guidance. Now, Venus is at the tail end of Leo. We're about to have a new moon in Leo on the 4th of August. Huge part of this story. Why? Because like I said, Venus is helping you to achieve what is the most desired for you. Venus also rules Libra, which is the South Node. South Node has been working on taking you out of your comfort zones in order to achieve your destiny. But Venus is also connected to the ruling planet of your your money and your love. Okay, Venus rules both. So when we are in love with our life, when we are in harmony with our own purpose, okay, where we feel the spark of life, where we feel the spark of joy, where we feel satisfied in our life, it is always easier to become financially, more well off and be be more open to love and loving relationships in our life. Okay. So we have this huge love element that is supporting this final healing of our wound. Now, typically somebody would have to wait 50 years for Chiron to orbit and have a return in our life. It returns every 50 years. So usually only once in a lifetime. But you may not be 50. Yeah, chances are most of you are not 50 years old watching this video. Some of you may be right around there, but we're able to really allow this wound to become our greatest medicine, our greatest purpose because of this retrograde and with Pluto and this final release of it, and not have to wait until that space and time when we are right around 50 years old. So this is miraculous. This is huge. This is a really big deal. So, what I want to do is I want to dive into the tarot with each one of you and find out what that overlighting energy looks like for you. So you may or may not be familiar with your natal chart. A lot of people don't have the information of what time they were born. So that makes it difficult to get a full picture of your natal chart. So let's rely on another tool to find out what is going to be activated within you in order to create this different storyline. You literally are able to rewrite the story of your life and make a huge quantum leap and shift upwards towards the things that you have desired for yourself. Okay. So let's find out which with each sign. I would like for you to, if you're interested, look at, oh, I'm so sorry. See, again, glad I didn't do this 12 times. With Venus being in Leo, the sun, right? Okay, Leo is the Leo sign is the sun. We're looking at father figure and your external external material world. You and the external, I'm saying that right? You and your external world, okay? So now you could be looking at, so what we have the opportunity here for, again, is now not only healing a wound that had been created within our mother relationship, we also have the ability to heal a wound within our father relationship, because father figure and you and your external world. Okay. So whatever that looks like for you, we all have these feminine and masculine energies within us. Every one of us does. Every one of us has some sort of a relationship, whether they were involved in our life or not, with father, mother figures, either how you have been that for other people, how other people have been that for you. And now it is time for us to be able to do that for ourselves. Again, we are rising to be independent, okay, but have interdependent relationships because, again, Pluto and Aquarius setting the tone for this generation is all about each one of us being able to self-resource, for us to be able to soothe ourselves and give ourselves what we need in order to be strong, the strength within the collective. Okay. We're not leaning on external information. We're not leaning on other people to give us our answers, to give us our validation. We are able to now self-resource what we need by healing these wounds once and for all, and being able to show up in a very authentic way, strong, and be able to have harmonious relationships with those who we are working with, those who we are engaging with in our own personal life. Okay. So again, this is a very significant next 6 months, and it is going to be much easier for you to be able to release than you probably suspected. So along with looking at the overlighting energies for each one of you in your sign, I will also pull cards, a card or cards, and usually ends up being cards, right? cards for the final outcome. What will the final outcome at the end of this 6 months, or as this energy purges from your field, what will that look like for you? What is that final outcome? And I'm sure it's going to be significant for each one of us. So I hope that was helpful and not confusing, to be able to draw those parallels from the mythology, which really explains, personifies explaining energies. That's what the mythology does, is it gives us some insight to the energies through personifying or having people or gods. They're not really, I guess a person, right? A person being able to hold the energies. So again, let's not continue going on here. Again, I hope that was very helpful. Let's go ahead and dive into the cards for each one of you. One more thing. Okay, one more thing. So I have started to say I wanted you guys to watch for your sun, because that is going to be your uh like I said, father figure, father in masculine energy in you and your external world and your purpose. Okay. This is very connected to what propels you forward, what keeps you moving in this life. Okay. Watch for your rising if you have that information, and that is going to be your whole self. Okay. And watch for your moon, because that again, this is your mother figure, but also the inner workings of you, how your mind works, how you think about things, the things that you eat, and taking in your home. So think inward for your moon. Okay, that's what that is. It's what's going on that everybody isn't necessarily seeing. What's going on inside of you, how you process things is going to be your moon. It's also a really great idea for you to watch for your Venus as well, because Venus is an active part of this, right? And Venus is your loves, like love and money. And she, but a lot of times people will watch their Venus for not only money, but for how people attract to them, what type of people they attract, that kind of thing. So you can, take the information and apply it to which one of these areas of your life or your chart, if you do have that information. Also, if you are interested in not having to wait for the content to be released throughout the week, to be able to get all of these, please join my Patreon community, and you will have access to all of the videos on Mondays. And you won't have to wait to watch for each one of those placements in your life. Or if you're wanting to cross watch for somebody who is significant for you, that's always very helpful for navigating your life as well. So, okay, now let's begin. Okay, Gemini, let's go ahead and dive into the overlighting energies for you for the next 6 months. What does this look like for you healing this Chiron wound once and for all, and being the most significant version of yourself as of yet? Not to say the other part wasn't significant. It was definitely significant. But what does it look like when you are the healed version of you? What does that look like for Gemini? Okay, I am using the Tarot of the Sacred Kingdoms initially here. We're going to go dive deep, and all of the decks that I use are in the description box if you are interested. Two of Pentacles. This is about learning to wield some new energy. Nine of Wands, independent. Conviction, like you've been through it, and what have you learned? Literally how to be your own authority and of your own life. Love that. I love that. I mean, I think that you guys are pretty strong. A pretty strong sign of being able to be independent in a very responsible way here. And this is about being able to literally have like that. I know what I want, and there's no going back. I'm going after what I want. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we are going to pull a minimum of 2 cards for each one of these to get clarifiers. Okay, so and I'm going to use the gold foil deck for that. Star card. That's put that there because I don't want it to star. This is blessings after a trial. This is you aligned to the source within you. This is you listening to your higher self and your life literally beginning to be blessed by it. This is where all the blessings start to come forward. Okay, so if you're learning to wield new power, it's about like what my life looks like right now. And the five of cups. Okay. I have to wonder if there's regret here by you becoming the most healed version of yourself. Wielding this new power. You're looking backwards at something that that wasn't helpful for you. And this is love. This is love. And this is closing yourself off to what's being presented to you. And the Emperor, the Devil, negative thought processes. Nine of Wands. Okay. All right. So the Two of Pentacles here is where there is this, like I had said in the beginning, learning to wield this new energy here. This energy of what? You being aligned, okay? And what does that mean? That means that things that you had been interested in before no longer interest you. You are now evolving to something greater, something bigger. And oftentimes people can continue to look backwards at the things and stay hooked on it, stay stuck on things that had not been working well for you. Maybe this is addiction. Maybe it's something that you're addicted to, or it could be addicted to regret. And I say addictions especially because the devil is here. Okay. So you could be like literally perpetuating negative thoughts and looking in a place where you are not satisfied, because here we see absolute satisfaction in you pursuing what you're interested in, what you have chosen. This depicts it so well. Like, that's what I've worked hard for all of these wands. These are all of my creative ventures, everything that I have pursued in my life. And now I know, and it was a battle. It was a battle to get you there, but now I know what I want. The Emperor knows exactly who he is and exactly what he wants, is the authority of his own life, and is able to make responsible decisions for everything he's responsible for. Okay, he implements the power that he wields to be of benefit to everything in his life. And yet, the devil here is now working against that by saying, what is he saying? We have regret here. We have disappointment also here of not receiving the fullness of the joy available to you. We have the devil saying, what? You can't choose. You can't be the power. You can't be the authority of your life. Is this, I have to ask, is this addiction to staying where you're not satisfied simply because you're used to it? Is that what you're bound to? And not living up to the full potential that you can? Or is this something that you are engaging in that's not helping you and not being able to open your heart up completely to love and happiness? Like, I mean, smoking too much pot or drinking too much alcohol, or, just addicted to things that are binding you. Okay. This is addictive thinking and addictive behavior. Now, I am personally under the impression or of the mind that it is a negative and addictive thinking in a negative direction that leads to addictive behavior. So it goes back to you staying in a place that you're not satisfied. And yet everything is pulling you up. What is it? Oh my God. Okay. You literally cannot make this up. The power of who you are as an individual is literally at the bottom of the deck. It is literally forcing you forward. Okay. So you have You are about to experience self-mastery on a level you never have before, and it seems to me that the source within you is not going to quit. All right, let's go ahead and get some more clarifiers here. We got the Eight of Cups, pursuing your own personal interests. The High Priestess, her being able to use her imagination, not in a fairy tale way, but to see what source has prepared for you. So this can be creative energy, very much so, but in a way that it's about to bless your life. Like you're able to have a sense of what is possible for you, even though it hasn't materialized. Okay. And it has everything to do with what you are interested in. This Eight of Cups is personal power, emperor. Okay. Personal power and personal abundance, because it's rooted in personal power. Abundance being delivered to you here, peace and abundance here. Yeah. So you're having to really recognize that you are limitless in in what's possible for your life at this point, and maybe that's overwhelming you. But let's keep going. We have the High Priestess, which is also the higher octave of the Moon card. What hasn't manifested in your physical world, but you can see internally that it's about to manifest, and then boom, there's the Sun, which is about so we have divine feminine and divine masculine here. We have what's going on inside of you and what's going on outside of you. What is potentially going to manifest, what has manifested. All right. Let's keep going. Okay, so this one wasn't super strong coming out, and I can see why it's not super strong coming out, but I do feel like it is meant for you. Okay, just kind of just was there. And this is you in your creative power. Okay, this is you opening up your heart, opening up yourself to that source within you to receive those downloads, to receive these creative visions, to understand what's possible for yourself through creativity. Through creativity, you're the one creating this reality. Okay, but you're going to be able to create a stronger reality for yourself as you pursue your creative ventures. So, are you limiting yourself in your ability to create? Are you not taking the steps forward in what you can create because you feel debilitated in some way? You feel blocked and held back. Okay, so I feel like at this point I need to go ahead and use the traditional Rider Waite here, original Rider Waite, to go even deeper. Let's get some solid answers here. That's what I thought. I'm not surprised at all, because I was literally looking at this. I'm like, this is your answer. Go for it. Go for it. Go to the place you are going to be most satisfied. And that means creatively. Okay. Go to the place creatively that you will be the most satisfied. You're being called towards something, Gemini. What is it? Your creative. Oh, well, this is peace. When you make that solid, firm decision, you know what it is that you want. You know what it is that you want. You harmonize in the greatest peace and tranquility that one can experience in your own material world. It's like you become one with your life. Okay, you become one with your life, and it's very abundant in nature. So are you blocking your financial well-being because do you have a sense? Do you have a sense? I'm just going to pose this question to you, Gemini, and I would love to hear from you, okay? Do you have a sense of the possibility of becoming wealthy and your life being blessed financially because of what you creatively are pursuing? And you are having some fear around that. You're like right here, this devil, this disappointment, this blocking of your heart, are you kind of shutting yourself down because you can see that it's coming? The greatest version of you and the self-mastery, have you been shutting it down? And that's what's about to move. That's what's about to move. So I don't think that you can hold back any longer, Gemini. Aha. Creativity. Yep. There's too many potentials that are about to pop. There's too much. There's too much energy. I can literally feel it. There's so much energy, creative energy within you. Creative energy that is about to blossom. There's the Strength card. This is where, when you are tapped into your creativity, this is where you tame this negative thought belief. Okay? It's where you tame it. It's when you are able to look at it. This is what this dove of peace does for you, okay? When you open up your heart and you bring yourself to allow peace in, you see here, she's peaceful, she's calm, she's relaxed, she's got her hand in a lion's mouth because she's at peace. So you can face that fear. You can face the fear of being as great as you really are, Gemini, and that your creations really are that good. What you have thought of in your mind's eye is really that good. And the Queen of Cups again. So yeah, this is absolutely about opening up your heart, opening up yourself to enjoy your creative ideas, and watching how this new information, this is a new, fresh, new financial well-being. Okay. I'm going to say information because pages often are information around your finances. Look at this: passions plus financial well-being. This page, bringing those two together. This high priestess here, which is literally letting you know this is about to manifest. Oh my God. I love this for you. I love this. Okay. Your world is about to expand. You're going to look at where you had placed your energy and it hasn't been worth it, because it seems to me that this bushel right here, I don't always see that, but as you take a pause and you see all the work that you have done, all of the things that you have been interested in, and how it's all beginning to add up. And now oftentimes this can be, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I would have to say in this case, absolutely it has been, because you're having to look out at the world and notice what you have built for you, what you have done for yourself is about to blossom. It is about to grow exponentially. All burdens are lifted from your shoulders. And what I want to see here now is one final outcome for Gemini for the this next 6 months, as you heal that Chiron wound of holding yourself back creatively, and holding yourself back from taking it all out into the world and showing, the world what it is that you are interested in and blessing the world with it. What is that final outcome? Nine of Wands, Nine of Wands, Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands. Look at that. Look at this. It is the greatest satisfaction of your life. You literally being able to live in this creative space and be financially stable because of it. You make a decision, and I know it's tough for Geminis. You make a strong decision around the direction that you're going, around your creations. Is there anything else that Spirit wants to say? There is this card that flipped over a little bit ago, and I think that it belongs here now. It hadn't flipped out, just flipped over. This is a relationship that is very significant to you. Now, I have been seeing for Gemini that connecting with others, like-minded people who are interested in the same kind of things you are, socializing, expanding your social life, was helpful for your guys' creativity to begin to percolate, okay? To begin to feel more inspired in your life. Now, this card here, the Six of Cups, talks about you connecting with maybe somebody from your past, but it definitely talks about whether or not it's somebody from your past. It is definitely a very significant bonded relationship. Okay, so there may be a decision not only around your creativity, but around a relationship in a beautiful, beautiful reconnected way. It seems to me you're reconnecting with someone. There's a card of peace and going out after it. Go out after it. So I know I said just one card, but I can't stop right here. I just don't feel like it. I feel like we've got to keep going. We've got to keep going. That Nine of Wands, that Nine of Wands, that Nine of Wands, and Six of Cups. We're not kidding. Your life is about to expand. Negative self-image, keeping yourself blocked. This is where you're blocking yourself off, and you're the only one that can get out of your head and get out there into the world by choosing what makes you happy. You got to get out of your head. You got to get out of here and get out into that world, okay? You got to get out into the world. So what is it? When Gemini begins to get out of their head so much, allow themselves to be inspired in an action-oriented way, what happens? Oh, well, the devil did come out reversed, and the emperor here again. Emperor, emperor, emperor. 100% self-mastery. This is about you trusting the ideas that you have, being able to bring them out into the world, and being able to open up to a connection with another person. And your life is going to be, you are going to master your own reality. You will be the master of your reality, literally wielding life force energy, which you're feeling it. You're feeling it coming in. You're feeling it. That's like, I'm trying to figure this out. And it's going, I feel like it's about to pop big time for you, Gemini. Big time. Okay, so I hope that this was helpful. I'm really excited for you. I think that your own power may be scaring you just a little bit, but I don't think that you can hold back anymore. And I think that it's time for you to unfurl your incredible wings and be the glorious version, the phoenix that you were meant to be. It's time for you to step out, shine bright, be big, and connect. Okay, connect with your passions, connect with people, connect with your life. Okay, connect with your life, because you're not going to be able to hold it back anymore. All right. Know that I love you, Gemini, and Source adores you.